Grand risings and night nights to all my dragon heads and chalalas respectfully. It's a fucking early morning over here at the Dragon Studio, whatever you want to call this, the Doonjang. Kind of wish I had some weed right now. Kind of wish I was doing this video a little high powered, a little blazing, if you will. But nope, stone cold, sober as fuck. So here we go. This episode is a Super Saiyajin Historium. Basically, it's just, I realized the other day, December 07th to be exact, that I kind of felt like everybody who was born in the 1980s should, metaphorically speaking, should have access to Super Saiyan powers or should have like the recombinant gene, the dormant gene, somewhere in their DNA, and they should be able to unlock that somehow. I say this because the 80s was kind of fucking wild. I don't know how old you guys are, how young you guys are, but I'm just saying if you experienced the 1980s, shit was fucking crazy. Uh, Basically, what I mean is the 80s was just wild in terms of imagination powers. Like, everything was popping in the 80s. You had fucking cars that went back to the future, and then back to the present, and then from the present to the future. They should have, I don't know, that was something with the titles. But anyway, you had fucking time traveling cars, you had anthropomorphic fucking mutant turtles, like turtles. They started out as fucking turtles, and then they got exposed to some fucking green slime, and now they're walking on two legs. They've become ninjas. They are now fucking trained in the ancient art of ninjutsu. They were trained in this art by a fucking rat who also is now anthropomorphic and can speak the fucking perfect Queen's English, even though he's fucking Japanese as fuck. How did that happen? I'm not saying Japanese people can't speak perfect English because obviously some countries train their citizens to speak dual language, which I find is pretty cool. America, where you at? Come on, man, step up. But I'm just saying, you got wild shit going on like that. Fucking, you got giant bodybuilders. Fuck. They have swords. Lightning strikes the sword. They turn into fucking He-Man or whatever. You got like barbarians named Conan running around the place, fucking chopping heads. Oh yeah, and who could forget crack? Yep, crack. Good old crack. The destroyer of black communities since the fucking 80s. So, oh yeah, you had all that cool stuff back in the 1980s. And so I just feel like that level of imagination power, it was pretty fucking radical. So if you experience all that, man, you really should have the ability to go Super Saiyan. And that was the 80s. The 1990s was pretty cool. It was not nearly as creative as the 80s, but it was like a nice final stand in terms of that type of creativity for the culture. And I guess in this sense, if I'm speaking about culture, I'm talking about like rap, hip hop, that sort of thing. Fucking what fucked up the 90s was the whole gangster rap situation. No offense to gangster rap, there were some cool, fucking acts that came out of that whole genre, but mostly the fucking white dudes and the execs who kind of fucking took over rap and hip hop at the time. It was all a marketing thing, and they were all like, yo, let's make fucking everything gang related, and let's have fucking drugs and everything, and bang bang, and blah 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 blah. So they kind of fucked it up for the creative aspect of how hip hop used to be in the 80s. And it just became like a whole fucking gang thing. Like everything was gangs this and gangs that. And if you weren't in a gang, You were just probably not gonna sell any records. And at this point, later on, you can also blame the consumers for that, because there's a certain point when you gotta take what is it called? What is that vocabulary word? Uh, Accountability. You gotta take accountability for yourself as the consumer. So if there are artists out there that are producing great imaginative works, cool stuff that's not the standard, but if the people are not buying this, if the people are still buying all the tired, blah blah blah, then you gotta blame the consumers on that, because hey, you guys fucked up on that one. If I had to equate the 80s to a Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan form, the 80s is definitely future Trunks, mid-eye Trunks, if you will. It was just like, whoa, what is this cool shit that we've never seen before? Trunks is like the embodiment of the fucking 1980s. Just some cool kid wearing some cool 80s fashion gear. He's just coming out of nowhere with this shit, coming from the future, basically coming from the fucking future. He's fucking fighting machines and androids and all this shit. The Terminators of his day, so to speak. So Trunks is basically the Super Saiyan of the 80s. 90s, I'm gonna fucking give that to Vegeta. Vegeta is like a fucking gangster. If you know Vegeta, you know he's a fucking gangster, man. He came from that gang style life, bang bang. I mean, his whole upbringing was about like fucking people up, taking money, taking names, not even really taking names. Shoot first, ask questions last. In Vegeta's case, you don't even really need to ask any questions. You just shoot them up and you're done. You take the planet and go to Applebee's or whatever you do after that shit. Specifically, what form of Vegeta? We can say Majin Vegeta, because like the culture, the culture kind of got possessed by some evil fucking spirits that did not care about the culture or did not care about the people within the culture. They were just, trying to exploit the culture. They just wanted that money. It's definitely a Majin move. Since time really, if you know anything about time, time is not linear. They say time is linear. We are taught time is linear. Like time goes from point A to point B to point C. But if you're like, a fucking higher level being, time is just all fucking over the place. So let's use our time machines, and instead of going into the double O's, we're going to go back a little bit into the 70s. In my opinion, the 1970s was like the Super Saiyan God tier in terms of legacy and power. Basically all the legends and the lore that we know of today, speaking in terms of I don't want to say activisty, a freedom fighter, that type of, that type of persuasion. Going into that methodology, all the legends and the cool shit we know and try to emulate today pretty much came from the 70s. I don't know if you've done your research, but you should, because a lot of cool fucking shit was going down in the 70s. In fact, maybe too much cool shit was going down in the 70s, because all those motherfuckers got fucking dead or are still currently in prison or whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got your Mumiyas, you got your Leonards, a lot of motherfuckers still fucking in prison for crimes they probably did not do. Maybe some did, but for the most part, a lot of people got jacked up on false allegations. We see a lot of that today. Times have not changed, but going back into those examples, you had people hijacking planes, pretty fucking cool, You had people busting motherfuckers out of prison and like actually escaping into other countries. Like, what? You do not see that shit today. That's just not happening. You have motherfuckers revolutionizing healthcare and food. Like, before the Panthers, I believe free food was not a thing. Like, these motherfuckers just giving people fucking free breakfast and shit. And the motherfuckers like, what? Free breakfast? I've never heard of this shit, but I'm going to jump on this free breakfast program because I got kids, and the kids gotta eat. I believe the fucking school system adopted that from the Panthers, the whole like free breakfast and lunch program, reduced lunch and blah blah blah. You know, you gotta thank your felines for that shit. That was basically the fucking 70s. If I have to equate the 70s to a Super Saiyan form, obviously we're going to give that to Kakarot, the Super Saiyan God, red hair version. We'll give that to them, the 70s. Because it seems like they fucking paved the way for a lot of shit that people are still trying to emulate. Of course, a lot of the information was lost because everybody got dead, and it seems like all the bad guys came into power and misled everybody. They were like, oh no, we're the good guys, when actually they were the bad guys, because if they were truly the good guys, some cool shit would have been popped off by now. Obviously that was not the case. So a lot of these old fucking people that are talking all this shit like, oh, I marched with Dr. King, they probably are fucking bullshitting, because they would be either in prison or jail. I'm not saying that, if you marched with Dr. King back in the day and you're not dead or in prison now, I'm not saying you didn't do it. I'm just saying the realest ones are fucking dead in jail. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only saying this because today is pretty much the same climate. If you look at what's going on now, what's going on, 10 years ago, and what's going on before that in the 70s, it's pretty much a similar paradigm in which a little bit of the people are doing the work and a lot of the people are just talking a bunch of shit, about what they would do, but bitch, you probably won't do shit, so shut up. And if we flash forward into the future, all the people now that didn't do shit, they're gonna be like, oh, well, back in my day, blah 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 blah. But like, did you really though? Did you even get your feet wet a little bit? Probably not. All right, because I'm just saying, if you did, collectively speaking, there would be more people out there, but this is obviously not the case. So, go ahead and lie to your children and your grandchildren. We know it's coming. Just get it out of the way already. Alright, going a little further back in time, 10 years before the 1970s, we are now in the 1960s. The 60s was, in my opinion, the catalyst to all the legendary wonders of the 70s. And, a lot of stuff was probably popping off in the 60s and before the 60s. This is when you probably had your true, like, golden Uzaro Saiyans running amok. Because let's be real for a second, it seems to me that in terms of human biology or whatever, in just terms of humanity, it seems we as species are getting weaker with age, right? Like a human born in the double O era is probably going to be weak as fuck compared to a human born in like the 40s or whatever, because humans back then, there was less technology. It was just a simple mathematics, man. There was less technology. People had to do things with their hands and their bodies more, so naturally you're gonna be stronger than someone who comes from a future where everything for the most part is technologically making it easier for them. That's just mathematics. It's not a diss to anyone from the future, and it's just basics. It's basic mathematics, right? 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's simple. So yeah, man, humans were a lot stronger back then. You can even take it further, back to fucking ancient kids. Humans were just fucking raw as fuck, hunting buffalo, hunting lions and shit. People still do it today, but it's a super minority. You can't really hunt lions because these other fuck ass poachers hunted lions to the point, and tigers. Man, there's basically no tigers left. It's like, come on, you guys, you're fucking it up. That's a European thing. Sorry, I mean, I'm not blaming it all on Europeans. humanity in general, we kind of have a thing where we overhunt shit to extinction. I don't know what that's about. Because there used to be fucking, whatever. But I'm just saying, in North America, it was mostly a European thing. I'm just saying people from fucking England or Britain or UK, I don't know which one you're supposed to say, whatever. But anyway, they came over on a boat and they started fucking shooting all the buffalo, and it's like, whoa, man, there's no fucking buffalo. Okay. Anyway, but what am I saying? Yeah, basically, in this era, in the 60s, you probably had a lot of like legendary golden apes running around the place because, shit was rough. So, and you probably had that predating the 60s too. So, what Super Saiyan form I will give to the 60s? Obviously, the Golden Uzaru, the legendary form, the legend that all Super Saiyans are birthed from. This motherfucker. Flash forward into the future, back to our double O era, back to our James Bond shaken not stirred era. We get the new kids on the block. Oh yeah, we get these guys. At the time I was not having fun in the double O eras. I thought double O was pretty fucking lame, especially it was lame in comparison to the 90s, especially lame in comparison to the 80s. It was lame in comparison to the 70s. Nobody was really fucking doing shit in the double O era for the longest of time. It was just like, and the people that were trying to do shit, they were just trying to like emulate the 90s. But it was like, you guys are doing it all wrong. It was just a turn off. The double O's was just like a big turn off. It was really boring. The only cool thing that came out of the double O era was crunk music. I gotta fucking give it to crunk music. Crunk music was like, oh man, it was so fun, man. It was just fucking fun. Did crunk music cause a lot of fights? Of course it did. But it was still fun as fuck, man. I sure do miss it. I sure do miss it. But luckily we can reminisce and, go back in time. We can listen to some Cry Mob. We can listen to, Shoddy Low when we feel like it. But if I had to assign a Super Saiyan form to the Double O's, we're obviously Kaioken Goku. Unfortunately, Goku was the only person that learned Kaioken. Really, all the humans on Earth should have learned Kaioken. Not all the humans on Earth, but I'm saying like all the Z, Senshi, Tien, Yamcha, fucking Piccolo, Jesus Christ. Even Chaozu, come on, man. All these motherfuckers were on King Kai's planet. They were stronger than Goku when they got to King Kai's planet. Why did King Kai not teach these motherfuckers Kaioken? Who knows? Who knows? But all these dudes should have had Kaioken. Then maybe they could have kept up with these fucking Saiyans. I don't know, Akira. Whatever, man. Goku is sleeping with Akira Toriyama. But anyway, yeah, man. Double O's, they got the Kaioken. The Double O's with crunk music, that's a Kaioken times 20. Alright? I will give you that. Going back into the 70s real quick, because I forgot some stuff. Alright. So if the 80s was radical in terms of imagination, like just anything you could think of in your mind, this shit was happening, man. You got Blade Runners all over the place, man. It's just fucking everywhere. If the 80s was like radical in terms of psyche, the 70s was radical in terms of just real life stuff. Like I've already stated before, you have your AIMS, your American Indian Movement, your Black Liberation Armies, your Black Panthers, your Guardian Angels, your Brown Berets, etc., etc., doing a lot of cool shit all over the place, man. And it wasn't just America, it was countries all over the place. The whole fucking, oh my god, shit was popping everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. It's pretty fucking cool. Kind of like that fucking Occupy One thing that happened. What year was that? What was that? 2011? Whatever fucking timeline that was. It was like an Occupy Arab Spring type of thing. Yo, everybody was doing shit all over the planet. It was fucking wild. I was like, whoa, what's happening right now? It's pretty fucking fun, man. Funnest times ever. If you didn't do it, man, you fucking missed out. Yo, that was like, if life was like a fucking video game, right? If life was like some type of RPG, and you get like skill points and experience points based on the quest that you go on. If you did not go on that original Occupy quest, you missed out on so many fucking experience points. My goodness, it was fucking crunk as fuck. No offense to anything that came after. I'm just saying you gotta give respects to you gotta yeah you just gotta give it up to that. I believe this concludes the history lesson for today. We went from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the double O's. Is there, and by double O's, I mean like 2000 to fucking 2011. From 11 to 2020, I would consider that the teen years. Were the teen years cool? Let's find out. I feel like business began to pick up during the 11th and the 20s, the teen years. You had your Occupy 2.0, that shit happened, which was pretty cool. I'm like, was this shit ever gonna happen again? Apparently, it kind of did. It wasn't like, as big. Some might say, was it even that? Was it just a branding thing? Was it just a marketing ploy? Who knows? But whatever, they took it. We're gonna run with that. Okay. Well, we're talking about Occupy 2.0, but also you had your original Occupy that happened at the 11s. That was also, like I said, pretty fucking cool. Arab Spring, pretty fucking cool. I mean, I was not there in fucking Egypt or wherever, but from what I understand, it was pretty cool. I don't know the inner workings. Was it an inside job? Was it for reals? For reals? Yo, for that you gotta ask the people. They'll probably let you know. You have fucking Trump winning the presidency. Trump, like the real life Lex fucking Luthor. It was delicious, man. It was delicious. I'm not a Trump fan or anything, but also at the same time, I can't even be a Trump hater because a lot of people made it super fucking uncool to be a Trump hater. I'm not saying that it's uncool to hate Trump, but I'm just saying people fucking went way. They just like fucked it up, man. It's like a lot of people started blaming Trump for everything, and I'm like, all right, so Trump is responsible for a lot of stuff, but he's not responsible for fucking everything. A lot of people were like, yo, I woke up and I walked and I stubbed my big toe on the fucking corner of my wall. Fuck Trump. Man, did he really do that? Was he really responsible for you stubbing your big toe? Come on, man. You're taking it too far, and now I can't even hate Trump because you're hating Trump a little bit too much, and now it's just like kind of stupid. But once again, not a Trump supporter. I'm just saying some people just took it a little bit too far, and now I can't even hate Trump comfortably because you guys fucked it up. You know who you are. You have the Hong Kong fucking protest. Hong Kong, man, damn. Hong Kong made it fucking hot. I don't know if this was because this is also where June Fong Lee was fucking born. So I don't know if it's a fucking dragon thing. I don't know if there's just a lot of fucking dragons running around in Hong Kong or whatever. But the shit that they were doing at a protest level, fucking nice, man. They took umbrellas and they fucking turned umbrellas into shield for like, gas canisters and shit like that. Yo, they took cones, the safety cones, they put the safety cones on top of the fucking gas dispensers. So like when the police and authoritarians threw like the gas grenades, bam, just fucking put a fucking safety cone on that bitch. It like internalizes all the gas and the gas just goes up. If anywhere, nobody gets hurt. Shit was fucking nice, man. It was fucking nice. Hong Kong, you guys did it fucking big. Big ups to Hong Kong. And then, of course, you have your Octopus 2.0. Yeah, well, all right. So they did some cool stuff. You kept the culture alive. You kept it rocking. It's still going on. It's not really quite over yet. But it is succumbing to what I mentioned before in terms of, a lot of people are not doing what they're claiming they would be doing. They're just talking shit and they're just ganging up on people who they are jealous of. Basically, the critics are basically using their energy all wrong. If you have so much energy to talk shit, why don't you fucking talk shit outside, to some real opponents, you know what I'm saying? Get some experience points under your belt, then come talk to me and we can have that conversation. You know, to everyone out there doing it, to everyone who was doing it, to everyone who's had some fucking history, who've had some experience, big ups, motherfucker, big ups. Thanks for keeping the culture alive. Really, man, 2020, it almost felt like 2020, man, it's the end of the teen eras, right? We went from 11 years old, now we're fucking 20. This shit is kind of funny because we're in 2020, but it's almost like we're in 2020. Is that when the Great Depression happened? 1920? I'm not sure. I might have to do a historical fact check. But if the Depression did happen in the 1920s, it is funny how time works. As they say, everything comes back around. Ah. But anyway, 19 like the year 2020 in itself, it felt like 10 years, but 1 year. It was like 10 years and one almost. It was like a bargain sale, right? It's like 2020 was like, yo, we're gonna give you 10 years worth of experiences all in 1 year for the low price of 19.99. It was fucking sweet. A lot of people had a horrible time in 2020. Not me though. I was fucking rocking all the way through 2020, the year of truth, the year of perfect eagle eye vision. I was rocking that shit all the fucking way. I think mostly was because most of the people who were hurt in 2020 probably were the people who had money or something, who were trying to make money or something. But if you didn't really have too much money, it really didn't matter, man. You were probably really still having fun. Like if you had an imagination or whatever, if you were a fucking artist or whatever, if you could like make do, if you were a self-determinator, you probably had a lot of fun in 2020. I don't know, was it just me? It couldn't have been just me. I'm pretty sure motherfuckers were living wild in 2020. I know it had to be more people than just me. Anyway, though, sorry for y'all who lost a lot of money in 2020. It sucks for you guys. But yeah, man, if you were broke in 2020, you probably had a lot of fun. 2020 was like the era of the brokies, of the brokenness. My broken Matt Hardy's, if you will. My brother Nero's, if you will. If you were broke, you were probably like, what? There's this show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I believe it was either Mac or Dennis. He explained it perfectly to a T. There's a lot of new poor, and then there's a lot of old poor. The old poor were looking at all this shit like, okay, so what else is new? The new poor, they're all freaking out like, oh no, blah 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 blah, and it's just like, come on guys, welcome to the club, welcome to the party. We're gonna get it popping. It's gonna be cool, man. Being poor, it's not the end of the world. You'll find out. You'll have fun. Don't worry. But if I had to give a Super Saiyan title to the teen years, 11 and the 20s, I'm going to give this to the joint combination team of Kel and Khalifa, the new Super Saiyan ladies, because also at the end of this whole, well, it wasn't just the end, but this whole era, it was a lot about women empowerment this and girl power that and ladies first this and Queen Latifah's and Moni Loves, that whole thing. And so you got to give the era what it is. That was the era. And so this is like Super Saiyan New Gods or Super Saiyan Hope. And it seems like Super Saiyan Kel and Super Saiyan Khalifa are spearheading this. They're kind of new to the game and everything, so we're going to be very patient in terms of what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. All my fucking Super Saiyans, all my previous Super Saiyans, such as myself, I would consider myself a Super Saiyan Trunks. And, we're fucking retired at this point because we have to be. It's not our era anymore. This is the era of the new Kel and Kalifa. So, everybody's just waiting for these guys to fucking win and step it up. And, it's you gotta be a little patient, whenever you're new to the game, it takes time to learn the rules and get everything quite under the belt. So I'm not rushing anything. I'm having a wonderful time, just laid back with my, blah 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 and my blah 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 on my blah blah blah. So I'm having a great time, and hopefully these ladies can get it right. Hopefully these ladies won't mistake or won't what is the word I'm looking for? They hopefully they won't repeat the mistakes of the past. All the bullshit that they were saying that they didn't like. I hope that they don't start doing all that shit that they didn't like that was being done to them. Kind of like what happens with people who are oppressed. Sometimes when people who are oppressed, when they get power for the first time, they go on this whole big kung fu revenge fucking plot, and it's like, haha, now that I have power, I'm going to do all the bullshit that was done to me onto you. But do two wrongs really make a right? Is this what you teach your children? Because if you do, your kids are going to be fucked, and then we're going to have a whole new fucking history of fucked up people because you're a shitty parent. So hopefully these Khalifas and Kels, they get on the right track, and they do the right thing and they don't repeat the fucking mistakes of the past. That would be great. Hopefully Kel and Khalifa can usher humanity into a whole brave new world of fucking cool shit that they said they were going to do. Are they going to do it? Only time will tell. You just gotta be a little patient. You gotta wait for it to happen. Well, I guess that concludes my Super Saiyan Historium from the ages of the 1960s to the fucking 2020s. It's a little rough around the edges, man. I'm just waking up. My voice is not even really activated. I'm squeaking and I'm squalling all over the place. Maybe I should have drank more water before I did this assignment. It's just my voice is not really up to par right now. I'm fucking raw dogging it right now. Fucking some weed probably would help me out, man. I'm not saying that I need the weed. I'm just saying, sometimes it's nice to wake and bake. Sometimes it's nice to wake up, get a little jump start to your engine. It's nothing wrong, man. Mary J is just a plant. It grows from the earth. It's natural, baby. Even the United States government at this point in time, who historically was like, oh, this is a Schedule 1 drug, Ronald Reagan, fuck you. Oh, this is a Schedule 1 drug, it has to be illegal. A lot of fucking black people and brown people are doing this, so it has to be bad. So let's criminalize this plant and let's lock up a lot of black and brown people. We'll call it the war on drugs. We'll, get a lot of money. It fucking worked. It worked to a T. So, beyond that, everyone should know at this point that Mary J, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a little fucking wake and bake. There's nothing wrong getting a little toasty, man. If you fucking use oregano, if you use garlic, if you use any type of spice, you can't say shit about my lady with the green eyes, Mary J, because she's just a plant like any of those things. And if you're afraid to smoke a little Mary J because of the law, well, I'm not gonna call you a bitch or anything. It's everyone has their own preferences. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if you are fundamentally opposed to Mary J because it's illegal, maybe you should do some research and maybe you should get that Uncle Sam dick out of your ass. Live a little bit. It's just weed, man. Chill out. What you should not be doing though is drinking alcohol. Alcohol is fucking horrible, man. So many deaths occur with alcohol all over the place, man. especially if you're chasing your drinks. You should never chase your drinks, man. I am a believer in straight no chaser. I never chase my shit. I am of the philosophy, if you can't drink it, man, it ain't for you. If you're not strong enough to drink it, man, don't drink it. If you can't handle the whiskey, if you can't handle the gin, then don't do it. You're not built that way. But a lot of people, they want to be cool and they start chasing the drinks with all types of sweetness and goody goods, and then they fuck up because they don't know what they're doing, and now you either dead or you're throwing up all over the place in the bathroom, just looking like a hot mess. It's not cool, man. It's not a cool look. You just make it look uncool for everybody who does know how to drink responsibly. This is why you can't fucking have fucking. This is why America is not like fucking Europe, right? In Europe, I could fucking walk down the street with a fucking beer, just enjoy my day with a nice fucking beer, a nice cocktail, if you will, and that's cool, man. It's fucking fine. But America, goddamn, you guys need to get your shit together, because a lot of you guys are making it horrible for everybody. You know, a lot of you irresponsible motherfuckers that can't handle your liquor, that can't handle your substances, they're fucking the game up for everybody. So, a little bit of advice, alright? Stop chasing your drinks. Just start drinking cold, unchased drinks. Learn to appreciate the flavor, the texture, the je ne sais quoi of the drink that you are drinking, alright? Just enjoy it. Learn to enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, acquire that taste. And you know what I'm saying? Once you master that, you should be at the level where you can drink responsibly without throwing up all over the place, you know, without looking like a hot mess. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Get it together. Since we're on the subject of paraphernalia, big ups to fucking Oregon for doing the cool thing, legalizing everything. Goddamn, Oregon. Oregon must be the state of fucking pioneers. Goddamn. Because they were just like, fuck it. Everything's legal. That's the way it should be. Oregon is trend-setting right now. Who would think Oregon trend-setting of all the 51 motherfucking states in the fucking union? Oregon is the one that's winning this battle? Wow. Must be some real motherfuckers living out in Oregon right now, because they did the correct thing. They were like, yo, let's just fucking legalize everything. And watch, if you pay attention to Oregon, I bet you there are not going to be any extravagant overdose cases. There's going to be nothing wild that comes from like Oregon, because once you legalize everything, once you take the stigma and the fucking coolness of it being illegal away, motherfuckers are just gonna be like, alright, cool, whatever, man, it's whatever, what is this? It's gonna be safer for everybody. You don't have to go into an abandoned fucking crack house or whatever just to do something because it's illegal. You can safely go into a shop in the middle of the day or whatever and just be like, cool, what is this? Let me try this. This is for me, this is not for me. And you know, you're not fucking killing yourself in the process because you're afraid of legal repercussions or whatever. So big ups to Oregon, you're doing it correct. Really though, if I could make one amendment to you, Oregon, you legalize everything, which is great, but what you really should have done, instead of legalize it, you should have just decriminalized it. That is the thing, right? There's legalization and then there's decriminalization, right? Legalization is when you make it lawful to do something, so that also means though the government is going to get their hands in it, and they're probably going to fuck it up, because let's be honest, that's what governments do. They fuck shit up. Has there ever been a government that didn't fuck anything up? Possibly, probably. I'm going to have to do my research though, but as far as I know in my experience, no. Look at our current government right now. Alright, we had one cool stimulus check package. It was a cool 120K. It was nice. I was loving that shit. It was amazing. Never in my life did that shit happen to me. Never in my life did my government just give me $1,000 out of nowhere. It was fucking wonderful. I was like, are you serious? Jeez. Thanks, Uncle Sam. I really appreciate this fucking birthday gift or whatever you want to call it. Oh man, flash forward, and now apparently word on the street is they're finally, after the fucking long ass wait, there is going to be another stimulus, but word on the street is it's only going to be $600. That is like half of what the original stimulus package was, and it's like, god damn, you bitches, you motherfuckers. Oh, you guys suck dick. But apparently, governments in other countries are actually and have been giving their citizens money, good fucking amounts of money. I'm talking about Canada is fucking rocking right now like a robin. Jesus fucking Christ. You know, and it's not just Canada, it's other countries all over the place. Do your research, you know what I'm saying. But it's like, damn, America, what the fuck? Do you want me to come to your house and like punch you in the face, America? What? Because that's what you're saying to me and everybody else when you do dumb shit like this. You're basically inviting me to come to your house and pull a Debo. Rest in peace, Big Zeus. But it's like you're asking me to pull a Debo on you, come up, take your bike, just look you in the face and be like, oh, it's my bike now, bitch. That's what you're saying to me, and I believe everyone else. When you shortchange us on the money, man, it's like Big Worm said, don't play with my money. Playing with my money, it's like playing with my emotions, Smokey. It's all about the principalities, okay? Can you say that vocabulary word? Principalities. Prince is in the word, so it must be correct, right? Alright. Oh shit, what the fuck? Oh yeah, so back what I was saying before, right? Legalization and decriminalization kinda went off on a tangent there. Went a little off road, but it was cool because everything I'm saying is pretty much correct. So we already explained what legalization is. Decriminalization is sort of like when you have something, right, that was illegal, but you decriminalize it, so it might still be illegal or whatever, but you face no crimes for possession of it or using it. So it would be like weed, right? It would be like if weed was illegal, but you decriminalized it, which means that even if weed is illegal or whatever, there is no penalty for having it, there is no penalty for smoking it. You really cannot penalize me because I have this substance, and also the government doesn't really get involved, and it's like the government can't make a lot of money, and also a lot of people who were making money on it before can still make money on it before because there's no weird like fucking taxes. They're not gonna tax your weed. They're not gonna make you get a fuck ass weed license and all this other college paperwork in order to fucking sell a joint or whatever. That's the difference between decriminalization and legalization. Legalization, you're gonna have to get a lot of paperwork, you're gonna sign a lot of documents, a lot of slave names here and John Henry's there. Decriminalization, you can use your rapper name because no one is fucking taxing you, no one's making you sign any fucking forms. It's like you can keep doing what you was doing when you was doing it, when it was not cool to do it, but now it's cool to do it, and you won't have to go to jail, and you get all the benefits and none of the fucking lashes. So that is the argument for legalization versus decriminalization. Oregon, big ups, but for everyone else who's watching or listening, the goal is to decriminalize and not legalize, because fuck those dotted lines and fuck all the forms and all the red tape and all the hoopla. I'm not trying to go to college again. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. This has been another episode of Yo, a Super Saiyan Historium. Rough and raw around the edges, raw dogging it, so to speak. Wish I had that J. I don't need it, but it would be nice because it's a spice like everything else. If you're eating your steak with salt, you might as well toke up and smoke that J. You might as well hit that bong, baby. Because here's what I'm saying, right? Weed is like the spice of life, right? Who here eats steak? You know, meats, hamburgers, all that type of stuff. Do you just eat your steak raw or do you season it with seasoning, right? Of course, you season your steak with seasonings, right? So why would you not flavor your life with a little bit of MJ? I'm just saying. Anyway, that's it, and I'm out. This has been the 10,000 power level man wishing you and yours Merry Festivus, because I'm not with that Christmas shit, mostly because I'm not a Christian, so I don't have to do it. Also not Jewish, so I won't be celebrating Hanukkah. Hanukkah, I believe it's a correct pronunciation. That's as correct as I can get. Hanukkah. And Kwanzaa, come on man, Kwanzaa is just like the kid everybody made fun of in high school. Nobody's doing Kwanzaa. Nice try, Kwanzaa. Seriously though, Kwanzaa, nice try is just not happening. P.S. though, for anyone wondering, what is that fucking metal clanging in all your videos? Alright, let it be known that I do double as a blacksmith, you know, here and there, just to make a little money on the side, allegedly speaking. So sometimes in my videos, I'm smelting swords and smithing hammers and shit like that. So if you hear little clankety clank, it's cool, baby. I'm just making swords. I'm just forging some iron in the fire.
Drive slow, homie.